If you only focus on making money online, it is going to be so much harder for you to make any money online. And that is because we have these blocks or these beliefs that stop us from making money. And if you do not recognize these beliefs or these blocks that are stopping you from making money, you're going to keep jumping from side hustle to side hustle and wondering why they're not working for you, but they're working for everyone else. When in reality, the side hustle does work and it can work for you, but you have these blocks or these beliefs like, I can't do this, or what if it does work and I'm constantly working on this business all the time and it takes up all of my time and energy? Like, there's something there usually that's stopping it from working for you. And so that's what I wanted to go into, is like why I struggled to make money for so many years before I was able to be successful on Etsy, because I stopped working as a nurse in 2018. So yeah, I stopped working in November of 2018 and I had my daughter in December of 2018. So I started my blog whenever she was like 6 weeks old. I was going through postpartum depression. I was crying every single day, and I just wanted something that kind of gave me like a sense of myself. I wanted something that I could do, outside of motherhood and just taking care of everyone else. I needed something that was stimulating for my mental health. And so I started my blog when she was 6 weeks old. So about this time, it's probably like February-ish of 2019. And so it took me from 2019, I did other things 2020, 2021, and I didn't start Etsy until like the end of September 2022. And that's when I started taking my Etsy shop seriously, and that's when it like blew up for me. And so all of those years prior to that, I was trying things. I was having no successes here and there, but it wasn't really like the success that I wanted. Like, I wanted to be able to replace my nursing income from home. That was what I considered successful. Like, I wanted to be able to make what I made as a nurse, which was about 2,400 a month. So I live in the South, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, that's so low," but we live in the South, so about 2,400 a month. That was working full time in a clinic, and so that's how much I made as a nurse. So I was like, if I can make 2,400 a month from home as a stay-at-home mom, that would be ideal for me. And that's what happened with Etsy in 2022 at the end, like by I think it's like December or so, I had already made like close to $3,000 in that month. So I did accomplish that goal. But prior to that, I would, have like a $3,000 month or a $6,000 month selling. I was always trying to sell digital products. I just couldn't quite figure out how to do it that was sustainable for me, because I didn't want to be glued to my phone all day and constantly posting on social media. Like, so many people will tell you, it's easy to grow on TikTok or you should be on Instagram. And I just didn't want to do that. Like, I did not want I didn't want to find a way to make money from home that was draining. Like, I wanted to be present for my kids and I didn't want to be glued to my phone all day. And so that was my struggle. I didn't want just any way to make money from home. I wanted a sustainable way to make money from home. And so that's why I, stopped trying to do Instagram, stopped trying to show up on TikTok 3 times a day. I was running Facebook ads. I stopped all of that. And I was like, let me just try Etsy. And then, it just went from there. So like $26,000 later, here we are. I just want to share with you some of the things that I stopped doing that helped me make more money from home, so that I'm able to be home with my kids and still make thousands per month without being glued to my phone, without stressing about bills, any of that. Like, I'm able to just be present and just enjoy being here with them for these, short years that they'll be here, because, they'll be gone before you know it. Like, time does really fly by so fast when you have kids. Like, it just go like they grow up so fast. Like, when people said that, I was like, oh my gosh, you're so dramatic. But like, now that I have kids, like, it goes by so fast. And so I want to be here to enjoy these moments with them. And so I have my notes here, because if not, I have ADHD, so I would just be talking about, these things I stopped doing, and then somehow we'll end up talking about like giraffes or something. So I have my notes so we can stay on task, like so I can remember to tell you what I want to tell you. So let's start with the first thing that I stopped doing that actually helped me make money. So this isn't the strategy. If you want the strategies, I have videos about that. It's more than strategy. I can tell you exactly what to do, but if you don't get over these blocks, it's not going to work. So you have to figure out what's blocking you. And these are the things that were stopping me from making money. And so they might be stopping you too. So the very first thing that I stopped doing, huge, so huge. And I see this all the time. And it's just so sad that this is what stops so many people. And it's I learned to stop expecting instant gratification. I learned to stop expecting, like, I'm going to open my Etsy shop on a Tuesday. I need to be making sales by Friday. Like, I have people that email me and they're like, I started my Etsy shop 3 days ago and I haven't made any sales yet. What am I doing wrong? And I'm like, you're not probably not doing anything wrong. Like, we are bombarded with people telling us, make $1,000 in one day, make a $10,000 in 1 week. Like, people are selling you on this dream of making a lot of money really fast, and it's to the detriment of the rest of us who aren't making a lot of money really fast, because we go into these, side hustles or whatever you want to call them. We go into them expecting to make a lot of money really fast, and when that doesn't happen, we quit. And so instead of going into things expecting to make a lot of money really fast, I go into it and I'm like, I'm going to give this my all for 90 days, or I'm going to give this my all for 1 year. Like, that's what, when I started this YouTube channel, I was like, I am going to be giving this my all. This is my only focus for the next year. Like, I really want to, if this doesn't work out for me, I want it to be because it just didn't work out for me. Like, I gave it 100% of my effort. I tried to do everything that I knew how to do, and it just didn't work for me, and that's okay. So that's how I go into, like, mostly anything. Like, even with the job, like, I'm going to show up at this job, I'm going to do my best, and if it just doesn't work, if it's not a good match, then I'll leave. But I don't want to leave and know, like, oh, well, I could have tried harder. Or if I'm in a relationship, I don't want the relationship to end and be like, well, I could have did this, I should have did that. Like, I want to know that I gave my all in the situation. And so that's what you kind of have to adopt, that mindset of, like, I'm going to give this my all, and then if it doesn't work, then that's okay. I feel good about trying something else. But when we hop from, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be on Instagram, I'm going to be on TikTok, okay, now I'm going to do YouTube, okay, now I'm going to try Facebook groups. Like, you're hopping to so many things and you're only giving them like a week to work. And then you're complaining that, Instagram doesn't work. Well, you can't make sales on TikTok. Like, it's not the platform, it's you. And so that's what I've had to learn. And all the platforms work. When people are telling you, I make $10,000 a month on TikTok, I make $10,000 a month on Etsy, I make $10,000 a month on Instagram, it's because the platforms work. If it's not working for you, you have to figure out why it's not working for you. And so a lot of the times I've noticed that it's just that we don't give it enough time to work. Like, we just want to go on there and be making money as soon as we post something. And that's not how it goes. So the longer you can delay gratification and just keep showing up and enjoying the process. And I was actually talking to this, I was talking about this with my husband, I think it was like yesterday or the day before, but we both have YouTube channels. And we were talking about how fun it is to record the videos. And that's because we're not expecting to make money. Like, we are just really here, just like sharing our thoughts and our beliefs. Like, and we're just trying to, help whoever we help. Like, if 10 people watch the video, like, that's 10 people that, we were able to help, and that's just amazing. And so we are really just focused on enjoying the process, and I think that's the part that so many people miss, is because we're desperate to make money. When the bills are piling up and there's a lot going on, you're stressed about all of this money and you're wanting a way to make money fast. You're like, I need to make this money right now, we have a lot of debt, blah blah blah. And then it kind of just sidetracks you, and you don't make as smart of decisions because you're so focused on making money. And so that's what we've been really just focused on, is enjoying the process. So enjoying the process of making the YouTube videos, enjoying the process of editing them and getting them posted. Like, just enjoying the moments of, like, the making money. So instead of just focusing on the end goal, I've learned to just delay the gratification and really try to enjoy the process and soak up everything that I can learn, and try to figure out, especially like with my Etsy shop, I was like, okay, how can I make product research faster? Like, how can I find product ideas that are profitable faster so that it doesn't take me as long? to do it? Or how can I make my listing photos faster? So that's what I was focused on, is like really optimizing my process so it didn't take as much time for me to get it done. And because I work while my kids are sleeping, and so I only have like 1 to 2 hours, if that, in the morning to work on it. And so I need to be very efficient. So whenever I sit down to work, I need to know exactly what I'm going to work on. I need to, I can't be fumbling around with the listing photo and just moving things a little to the left and a little to the right. And then by the time, 15 minutes later, it's back where it started. Like, I don't have time for that. And I think that's a really good thing too, because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't have time to do this. But having limited time makes you so much more efficient. If I had 3 hours to make a listing photo, it would take me 3 hours. But knowing that I only have, 1 hour or 2 hour to do, or 2 hours to do, all 5 of these tasks, I'm like, okay, that one's good enough. Let's go to the next one. Okay, go through this one. Okay, great. Let's go to the next one. Like, I'm so efficient with my time because I don't have time to waste. And so people think that having limited time is like a negative. I think that it's a positive because it forces you to be efficient and you have to be very strategic. And so that's why I think having limited time is not a con, it is a pro, because you learn what to do to make money and you have to do it very efficiently. And so if you have limited time, that's why I created the sales sprint, because I was like, you guys, we have limited time. That's not a bad thing. This is exactly what you need to do to make money. Like, I'm figuring this out, and I have my students in my community are like, hey, I figured this out, and we're sharing our tips together. And it's just really, beautiful to see. Most of us are moms. So it's just really beautiful to see, these moms coming together trying to make money so we can pay off our debt and so that we can put our kids in activities and take our families on vacations. Like, we have goals that we want to accomplish, but we just have such little time to accomplish them. And so I think it's just a beautiful thing to be in the community surrounded by people who are in similar situations to you. And instead of being complaining that we don't have time, we're finding solutions like, hey, if you guys do this, it'll be so much faster. And so I love being in a community like that. I'm so happy that, I had the courage to start it and to believe that it could grow into something, because like most creators, I started with zero. I started with 0 subscribers. I started with 0 people in my Facebook group. And so, it's just me. And then I got one person in there. It's just like me and one other person, and I'm like so thankful for the community that we've been able to grow. And, it's just beautiful. And that's what happens when you say yes to yourself and believe in yourself and see the vision. Even if no one else sees the vision, if you see it, that's all that matters. So the longer you can delay your gratification and just keep showing up and figure out how to perfect your process, it's going to work for you. Whatever you choose to do is going to work for you. You just have to learn to enjoy the journey and stop expecting instant gratification. The second thing I stopped doing that helped me make more money was I stopped breaking the promises I made to myself. And so many people lack confidence because they say they're going to do something and then they don't do it. So now they're teaching themselves that they're not trustworthy, or that they're not reliable. And so what I've learned is that I'm not committing to something if I'm not truly committed to that. So if I'm not truly committed to, because I wanted to try 75 hard, I've been looking it up and it looks hard, which is expected. That's why they call it 75 hard. And so I was like, if you're not really into, like, if you're not in this 100%, like, don't even set yourself up to fail. Like, just don't even try it yet until you're ready to really try it. And so I haven't started it yet. Like, I've done a few of the things, like I've been reading a little more. I have a walking pad, so I walk on that. Even though I've been slacking like the last week, like since we had our stomach bug, I barely even walked on it. And I knew that. That's why I was like, you've been sick. So like, let's just wait a little bit until you're feeling, a little better, getting back on your routine. Now is not the time. And so I have learned to not commit to things or I've learned to not say that I'm going to do something if I'm not committed to doing it. And so that is one thing that helps you build your confidence in yourself, because a lot of people won't start their Etsy shop because they don't believe in themselves. So if now is not the time, that's okay. As long as you know that. Like, don't say you're going to do something and then you don't do it and now you're beating yourself up because you didn't do it. Now doesn't have to be the time. But if you want to learn to believe in yourself and you want to follow through with what you say you're going to do, then you don't need to commit to things, or you don't need to say you're going to do something if you're not ready to commit to it. And so I have learned to stop breaking promises to myself, and that has boosted my confidence, because now it's like when I say I'm going to do something, I know I'm going to get it done. And so that's the type of attitude you need whenever you are starting something new, is that you need to be committed to that thing. And so if you are not ready to commit to the process of starting your Etsy shop, knowing that it could be months without you making a sale, then don't start it. So, like, wait until you're ready for that, because it's something you build up. People just always share, the end result, but it can take time to build that up. You have to add the products in the shop for people to buy, which means you have to do the research. You have to create the products, or, at least edit the templates. So, like, I use done for you digital products. So I have to edit those templates. And so when people want to skip over all of the stuff of all of the parts of building up the shop for it to make money, they just want the money. So if you have 3 products in your shop, don't complain to me that you're not making sales. Like, duh. Like, you have to build it up. And it's not your fault that you believe that, because that's what we've been told, make $25,000 a month, blah, blah, blah. And so that's what we've been told. And so it's not your fault that you think that, you can have 3 products in your shop and be making $20,000 a month, because that's what people are saying. But that's just not the reality for most of us. So unless you are ready to commit to the process and know that you're going to have to learn these skills, like, be okay with being a beginner. You have to learn these skills first. And so you need to go into it with the mindset that, okay, I need to learn how to do Canva. I need to learn, how to find product ideas, which I show you how to do all of that in the sales sprint. So it's not like you're learning on your own. I show you, literally, I share my screen and show you how to do it so you can follow along with me. So I make it very, very simple for you to learn these things, but you just have to be committed to learning. You have to be committed to the process, because the only way you're going to fail is if you quit. So, like, that's it. You have to give up on yourself. And so if you're going to give up on yourself, then don't bother starting, because it's just going to make you feel bad. So if you're going to give up, like, you have to commit to this process. So that's the second thing, is just don't say you're going to do something if you're not genuinely ready to commit to whatever you say you're going to do. Another major thing that was holding me back was this, which is number 3, and that was looking for answers to solve, to make my life better. I thought someone else had those answers. So I was like, okay, I just need to buy another course, or I just need to follow this person. And I'm looking for people to make my life better. Like, someone's going to come in and save me. And that's just not the case. You have to decide to save yourself. The only way you are going to get better is if the old version of you is tired of this life. Like, you have to decide to change it. No one else is going to come in and save you. You are surrounded by information. If you decide not to take, if you decide to not look at the information, then that's on you. You have access to YouTube. Instead of looking at funny cat videos, let's look at how to start an Etsy shop so you can make money and get out of debt. Like, those are choices. You have to decide which one, how you want to spend your time. Instead of scrolling through TikTok, looking at random TikTok dances or whatever, let's figure out how you can make money from home while your kids are sleeping. And so you have to quit waiting for someone else to save you. And I've seen this in my program. Like, people ask me questions that they could easily just Google. And now they've waited like 4 hours for me to get back on Facebook and respond to their question when they could have just Googled it. It's like, I've given you what you need. Like, in the sales sprint, I try to include the least amount of Googleable information. Like, if you can find it for free, then I try not to include that in there, because, like, I don't want you paying for information that you can find for free. I want you to get access to my brain, to my system, to my process. So that is what I include in the sales sprint. And so if you want to know how to do something on Canva, then you could easily just go on YouTube, which most of the stuff is covered anyways. But if you can't find it in there, then yeah, you ask in the community, because I might be on there, I might be online right now and I could answer it really quick. But if you could Google it, like, just find the answer. Like, don't expect me to have all the answers. Don't expect, this other guru or expert over here to have all of the answers for you. You have to go out and seek the answers, like, seek the solution to your problem. If you are $50,000 in debt, sitting around binge watching Netflix isn't going to solve your problem. Like, what are you doing? You're complaining that you're in debt. You're complaining that you want to be out of debt, but you're watching Netflix. Like, that doesn't add up. So we have to decide, either you want to be out of debt or you want to stay in debt. Like, which one? Because your actions are saying that you don't care about the debt and you want to stay in debt. So, like, quit waiting for someone to come and save you. You have to get up, get the information. There's so many free YouTube videos, there's so many TikTok videos. We have so many courses, and people hate on courses, but you can learn so much. I learned from courses. Like, I have taken so many courses, and yeah, there are crappy courses out there. Like, don't get me wrong, there's with ChatGPT, there is so much like AI generated crap out there, and unfortunately you don't know until you buy. And so I have slowed down on like buying, guides and ebooks and all that stuff, because I noticed they just haven't been worth the money. It's literally ChatGPT or, artificial intelligence writing the book, and they didn't even bother to like add any of their personal experiences or anything. And so that's why, I prefer courses, because especially like video courses, because it's that person showing you their process, or like in the sales sprint, it's me showing you how I do something. So you cannot get that with artificial intelligence. Like, artificial intelligence is not me, it's not my process. So Google, not my process. So I have figured out a way that works for me to do things. And so you have to, save yourself, like figure out what do you want to do. If you want to just use free YouTube videos, then do that. But like, you got to do it. So if you want to get out of debt, then get out of debt. What are you doing? What actions have you taken today to get out of debt? Like, what have you done? So you have to be accountable, hold yourself accountable. If you say you want to accomplish something, like, what have you done to accomplish that? So don't wait for anyone else to save you. You have to take accountability and save yourself. You have access to so much. And it's like, oh, well, I can't afford a course, but you just bought a new pair of shoes, or you've been going to Starbucks every day for the last 2 weeks. If you would have just saved that money, made coffee at home, you could have afforded the course, and then you make extra money, pay off your debt, and you can afford all of the coffees you want. So maybe you have to make a short-term sacrifice for the long-term happiness. So like, you have to decide. You have to save yourself. Like, what are you going to do? Either you can keep complaining, or you can take some action and figure it out and solve your problems. So don't think that someone else has all the answers for you. You don't need another course. You need to implement what you already have access to. Stop looking for the next trend. Just stick with the one that you already have. Whatever you said you're going to do it. Okay? Stop looking for the next fast way to make money. It's not out there. We are all hustling. So you just have to stay committed to what you say you're going to do, and quit looking for someone else's course or someone else's YouTube video or TikTok video to think that they have this special secret sauce that's going to finally make you rich. It's not out there. You have to just stay committed and implement whatever you say you're going to do. Stop jumping from thing to thing to thing. Just stay committed to the process. So this fourth thing that I stopped doing was, really, you wouldn't think about the impact that it has, but it really does have a huge impact. And that is, I stopped watching the news, all the fear mongering. I stopped watching reality TV shows. I stopped following like blogs that have like celebrity gossip or drama. Like, all of the negativity, I blocked it out. So if you look on my TikTok account, it's mostly just like how to make money and manifestation. It's like changing your identity, shifting your identity into becoming the person you want to be. So like self-confidence, self-belief, like that is my algorithm. And when you look on my YouTube, same thing. It's business skills, and it is, becoming the best version of yourself. That's what I'm into. That's what I search for, because that's the journey I'm on. I want to make money from home and figure out, see what other people are doing, how they're making money, and I want to be the best version of myself. And so that's what I look for, and that's what I'm surrounding myself by. So whenever I see, whatever celebrities are doing, whatever they're doing, I scroll right past it. I don't even like scroll on my Facebook, because I have my Facebook group. Whenever I get on Facebook, I go straight to my group, and I, respond to any posts, any of that. I'll post like on my personal profile, and then I get off. Like, I don't even scroll just through my feed anymore. Instagram, I don't scroll through. I really don't even use Instagram. So that was an easy one. But like my TikTok algorithm, I have curated it to be what I want it to be, which is about, making money from home and personal growth and personal development. And so that is what I have surrounded myself with. Any gossip, drama, any of that, I don't interact with it. Like, I don't want the negativity in my life. I want to be surrounded by positivity and I want to exude positivity. And so I know it may not seem like it's a huge deal to, be reading about, the negative things going on in the world, but it affects your mental health. And when you're not in a good mental state, it's harder for you to produce the results you want to produce. So if you're reading about all the negativity, like right now people are losing their jobs, the federal employees, a lot of people are getting laid off and losing their jobs. And if you're surrounded by that and you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's so sad for these people, and it's making you upset, it's going to be harder for you to sit down and focus on getting products listed in your Etsy shop because you're going to keep thinking about how sad you are for these people. And so that's why I just don't even surround myself with it. Like, I know the stories, I see the headline, and that's about it. So I still know what's going on, but I don't know the details and I don't want to know the details. But I don't want to be surrounded by, oh, there was another plane crash today and then, whatever else is going on. Like, I don't want to know all of that. I don't want to be surrounded by that. So if anything, just set aside, a few minutes a day to look and scroll and do whatever you need to do and then leave it alone. So I definitely limit social media. I have my app limits set up on my phone for 1 hour per day. That's on all social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, everything. 1 hour per day all together. So it's a few minutes on Facebook, a few minutes on Instagram, a few minutes on TikTok, and we're like done for the day. And so I am not just here scrolling and, doom scrolling. And now I feel terrible because the world is in shambles or whatever. Like, I don't do that. I protect my mental health. And my way of doing that is by not reading all of the fear mongering, all of the negativity going on. I just try to stay with what's going on around me and just try to be as positive as possible. The fifth thing that I had to stop doing in order to make more money from home was I had to stop focusing on problems and start focusing on solutions. And one thing that I heard that really changed my outlook on life, someone said the quality of your life is determined by how good you get at solving problems. And I have like that just changed everything for me. So I was like, because we're always surrounded by problems, like anything can be a problem. But another thing I heard was that problems don't exist without solutions. So with every problem comes a solution. And so I don't really see the point in complaining about anything. Like, what is that getting me? Worrying about stuff. What is that getting me? Like, let's solve the problem and then we could just move on. I can complain about it for the next 6 years. That didn't solve anything. I can worry about it for the next 6 years. Still here. Problem is still here. But if I just go ahead and solve it, then I've moved on with my life. So focus on solutions instead of the problem. And so what that means for me is, like, if I am figuring, like when I was starting my Etsy shop, I had my two girls at home, 3 years old, 7 months old. I needed a way to make money. Like, we considered all of our options. So we were focused on the solutions. What can we do? We were spending more than we were making. We didn't have much like frivolous spending. We weren't eating out a lot, doing anything like that. This was just everyday spending and it was a lot. And so we had to figure out, like, a few years ago we were able to make it on one income, but not so much anymore. What are we going to do? And so we were like, okay, it's going to be easy for me to find a job. I'm a nurse. They're always short staffed. So it'll be easy for me to find a job. The hard part would be putting the kids in daycare. Most of the daycares had like an 18-month wait list. And for the two kids, it would be about $1,500 a month. And so I was like, okay, we could do that, but 18-month wait list, that's just not going to work for us. Like, we don't have 18 months to spare. So we need a solution now. And so I started doing more research. I looked at all types of different side hustles. Most of them required me to be posting on social media, and I knew that I would not stay consistent with that. I didn't want something where I had to be showing up, every single day, posting multiple times a day. I didn't want something where people were going to be DMing me and I was going to be needing to have conversations with them. And I didn't want to feel icky, like trying to sell to them when, like, I didn't want to be doing, the fake conversations in the DMs and where I'm really just like, buy my stuff. Like, I didn't want to do that. That just didn't feel good to me. And so I found Etsy and I was like, okay, I can do this. I just, can use products that have already been created. That sounded easy. They have 90 plus million buyers, so I don't really need social media. I can just focus on SEO, which is search engine optimization. So they'll promote my products for me. I was like, okay, I can do that. And then I was like, okay, I can work in the morning before my kids get up. So that's another plus. And so it really just lined up for me. And then I seen, I don't need ads. I can just do this organically, which organic just means people naturally find my product. And so I was like, this checked all the boxes. So what the heck? Let's go. So, and I just found a product. It happened to be a trending product, which I had no idea what that even meant. Like I was just, throwing a Hail Mary pretty much. I was like, let me see, like this girl, I found her on TikTok. She had a cleaning checklist. And I was like, man, that cleaning checklist is so basic. I could make mine so much better. And it was a best-selling product on Etsy. And I was like, yeah, I can like make mine so much better. And so that's what I did. When my kids were sleeping, I would work. During nap time, I would work. So now like I just work in the morning. But at that time, I would work in the morning, like getting it, because like I said, you have to get it set up. So people are telling you, oh, you can make $10,000 a month working 2 hours a day. Yeah, I can do that like now because I've built the foundation. But when you're building the foundation, you've got to put in the work. You've got to put in the time, and then it becomes passive. So now I can work 2 hours a morning. But when I was first starting, I had my 2 hours in the morning, and then I was working another hour and a half, 2 hours at nap time. And then there were some nights in the evening when I would work when they'd go to bed. Like I wanted my products out there as fast as possible. Like I wanted to build up my shop as quickly as possible. And so you have to put in the work in the beginning to build the foundation. And then once you've got that foundation, then the sales will just keep rolling in, because now instead of just having one product in your shop, you have 50 products in your shop. So that's 50 times, that's 50 opportunities for you to be found. And so you have to look at it that way. One product in your shop. So like, I mean, just logically think about it. If you have one product in your shop and this person has 100 products in their shop, who has the most chances of getting found? Like that's what it is. We need to get found. And so where was I going with that story? What was I talking about? See, this is why I have my notes. Um, focus on, the problems. Is that what we're still talking about? Focus on problems and solutions. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm back. Yeah. So we needed a way to make money. And so yeah, that's what I did. I worked on my Etsy shop and I was like, I need this to work. Like I am going to make this work. I was committed. I wasn't just focused on I want to make money right now. I was like, I am going to make this work. And so that's what I did. I worked whenever my kids were sleeping. I worked on my Etsy shop. I figured out how to make those listing photos. I figured out how to use Canva and edit these products. I figured out, how to do SEO. I figured out all the stuff. Like I figured it out, and I didn't know I listed a trending product, but I did, and that thing took off. And so I wasn't focused on, working out of desperation, like, oh gosh, please, I need to make a sale. It's been one day and I haven't made a sale yet. Oh, this isn't going to work, doom and gloom. I was like, this is working, period. Like it checked all of my boxes of no social media. I can do it while my kids are sleeping, blah, 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 blah. Like it checked all my boxes, and I was going to make it work. And so that's how you have to go in. Find the solution, make it work, force it to work. So don't just give up and be upset, complain that nothing works for you. Force it to work for you. So that's a big one. Find the solutions, don't focus on the problems. Okay, let me get out of here. All right, let's go to number 6. So the sixth thing that I stopped doing to make more money online. Oh yeah, this one still gets me sometimes. I was creating imaginary deadlines for myself, and then I would get stressed out about those imaginary deadlines. So I would be like, let me explain. So I would be like, okay, you got to get that Etsy product listed today. Like you need to get it done today. Why? Like, why did I need it done today? I don't know. I created an imaginary deadline for myself. Maybe encouragement, motivation. I don't know. Maybe I felt like, but see, it was a feeling. I felt like it was taking me too long. So I put all of this pressure on myself to get it done. And now I'm stressed out. And then when I was stressed out, I was like irritable and snappy with my family because I'm like, I need you to go to sleep right now so I can work on my Etsy shop. Or, okay, let me hurry up and make you guys a snack so I can work on my Etsy shop. Like it just made me really irritable. And it was all because I put this imaginary deadline. Like, it didn't need to be there. I can get the products listed, and that goes back to the desperation of needing to make money. So I had my trending product, it was selling and selling, and I was like, okay, you got to get more products in your shop. You can't, like, I had the one product in my shop, so it's like you got to get more products in here so you can make more money. Let's go, let's do this, let's get another product in here today. And people are saying, I listed 5 products a day in my shop, and that's how is it. No, I was like, I'm listing like maybe one product a week or every 2 weeks. So I was like putting pressure on myself to kind of keep up with the Joneses. Like they're listing 5 products in one day. I need to be doing that too. But we could have completely different situations. Like we could be making completely different product types. And so I didn't take into account, what they were doing. I just felt like I needed to keep up. Like I wasn't doing enough. And so I had these imaginary deadlines and it was stressing me out. And so that's one thing I've stopped doing is giving myself imaginary deadlines because the money's going to come when the money comes. Like I already have the basics there. I already have the products there. Adding another product, it'll get added when it gets added. I don't need to add stress in my life to add this extra product in here. Like it doesn't need to be done today. So unless there's like a genuine deadline for it to need to be done, then I will set a goal. I'm like, okay, I want to get another product listed by Friday. And that's my intention. I've set my intention to hit that goal. But if it doesn't get hit because we get the flu, like then it is what it is. That's life. So I'm not going to be putting these imaginary deadlines on myself. And I'm doing that now with my YouTube channel. I'm like, let's get a video out every, so many days. So to keep the momentum going, like gaining subscribers regularly. I'm getting plenty of views. My views are going up. Like all of my arrows on my analytics are green. Like they're going up. They're good. And so I'm like, let's keep the momentum going. Let's add more videos. Let's do this. And I start putting all this pressure on myself. And then that's when people get burnt out because you put so much pressure on yourself and it's imaginary pressure. Like, no one is telling you need to do this but you. And if it doesn't get done, like it just doesn't get done. And that's okay. If I have a goal to list my product on Friday and I list it on Saturday, that's okay. So I've learned to just quit putting these imaginary boundaries or these imaginary deadlines, giving myself these imaginary deadlines of things that I need to do. Like it's okay, like to set my intention, great. Like let's push myself. We can get this done in 2 days. Let's go. That's great. But if it's getting to the point where it's stressing you out and you're irritable with your family and you're snappy and you're saying negative things to yourself, like, oh my gosh, you should be able to do this. Why are you going so slow? But, you're being mean to yourself about it, then we need to try a different strategy because that one is not the one. So don't put imaginary deadlines on yourself if it is stressing you out. Things will get done when they get done, and that's okay. Set your intention to get it done, and let's try our hardest to get it done. But if it gets done a little later, that's fine. And then let's go into number 7 because so many of us, like this is so, so, so important, and so many of us are not taught this, and it's so important. And so number 7 is instead of obsessing over how to make money, I started focusing on how to manage the money. Because what I thought was, so I've been watching Ramit, I think it's Ramit Sethi. I don't think that's his name. Ramit Sethi. And he had his show on Netflix, like I Will Teach You to be Rich. I think that's what it's called. I didn't watch it all. I watched the first episode. But you know what? I should have watched it all because probably what a bunch of people did was the very first couple, they were making $10,000 a month or like $20,000 a month, something like, I think it was like $20,000 a month. And it felt unrealistic, and so I turned it because I was like, how are y'all struggling and y'all make $20,000 a month? Like that, why are y'all here? Like you're already rich. But what I when I watched a little bit of it, I didn't even finish the entire episode. But what was happening was even though they were making $20,000 a month, they were spending like 22 or 23 or even more thousand a month. And so they were broke. And what that made me realize was that no matter how much you make, you can still be broke if you are spending more than you are bringing in. It doesn't matter. You could be making $100,000 a month, but if you are spending $120,000 a month, you're still broke. So what we have made the switch to is, yeah, we figured out how to make money, but we had to also figure out how to manage that money because even if we kept increasing our income, if our expenses kept increasing too, we were still in the same situation. Like it didn't matter how much we made, we would still be broke. And so we had to learn how to manage our money instead of just completely obsessing over how to make money. I was like, we need to figure out how to survive off of our current income and not feel like we need to buy all of this random stuff. And whenever we paid things off, that was another thing. We would like pay off our car and then we replaced that payment with something else. So we were essentially right back where we started. And so I was like, we can't keep doing that. Like, we can't keep increasing our expenses as we increase our income. And that's called lifestyle creep because a lot of people don't even know they're doing it. As their income increases, their expenses increase and they still feel like they're living paycheck to paycheck because like they haven't changed anything. So yeah, okay, first you were making $5,000 and you guys were spending 500 a month. So you were broke. Now you make $9,000 and you're spending 9,500 a month. You're still broke. So you're just making more money, but you're still spending more than you make. And so instead of obsessing over how to make money, we need more money, we got to get more money, I was like, let's master living and surviving off of any income level. Let's master the art of living below our means, which a lot of people cannot do. And that's just, it is what it is. A lot of people cannot live below their means. We still struggle with that. And so we are still trying to master the art of living below our means. We have gotten much better. I mean, whenever I started my Etsy shop, we were going over budget like $2,000, $3,000 a month. Like we were way over budget. And now our income hasn't changed very much. And so we are still almost the same as what we were making. Like we maybe a few thousand, but like I have business expenses and stuff too. And so our income hasn't drastically changed. It hasn't like quadrupled or anything like that. And so we are still learning the art of living below our means. But instead of going over budget like $2,000 or $3,000 a month, we are typically under budget or like breaking even. And so that is so much better. Like I would much rather have that instead of going over budget $3,000. So that is what we are mastering, is the art of living below our means. So instead of obsessing over how to make money, we started obsessing over how do we manage this money. And so I think that's super important because no matter how much you make, if you are spending more than you make, it's not going to matter. You're still going to be broke. So master the art of managing your money, and that's going to take you so much further than just on the hamster wheel of we need more money, we need more money, we need more money, because it'll never be enough if you don't know how to manage it. So, those are my 7 things that I stopped doing in order to start making money. I had to shift those perspectives. Like, I had to shift that and I was able to start making money. So, yeah, I can give you all the strategies in the world. But if you have limiting beliefs or things blocking you where you feel like, it's not possible for you to make money, then you're always going to be stuck. And so those were the 7 things that I had to shift in order to start actually making money, because no matter what I was doing, I was struggling. Like I was like, this isn't working. Let me try something else. This isn't working. Let me try something else. Like I was doing what most people do. We start something, it doesn't work in a month or so, and we move on to the next thing. But what I've had to learn were to stop doing these 7 things, and that's what actually helped me make money. It wasn't a strategy problem. We have access to the strategies. That wasn't the problem. It was a personal problem. And so once you solve those personal problems, whatever they are for you, then you'll be able to start making the amount of money that you want to make. And so I know a lot of people want to also know, like, what has been my experience selling digital products on Etsy. And so I'm going to put this video over here for you so you can know more about the lessons I've learned on my journey of selling digital products on Etsy as a homeschooling stay-at-home mom. So make sure you watch this video next if you want to know the lessons that I've learned on my Etsy journey.